Hello everyone, welcome to AVLSI lecture number 22, part 1. Today we are going to cover the two topics. First topic is sizing issues in current mirrors and second will be the unit cell design approach. And we will solve some two numericals on the designing of current mirrors based on this approach. So let us begin. Let us start and understand what do you mean by sizing issue in current mirrors. So in the last lecture, we have seen that this is my basic current mirror. We have M1 transistor, which is diode connected, and M2 transistor over here, which will carry the I out current, which is basically a copy of I reference. And both of them are related using this formula. I out is approximately equal to W2 divided by W1 into I reference under certain assumptions. So for accurate mirroring of current, your current mirrors usually employ the same channel length for all the transistors. That's why in this formula you see L is not there because L is same for both M1 and M2 transistors. Also, the current ratioing is achieved by scaling the width of the transistors as evident from this equation. So let's say we want to have I out is equal to 8 times I reference, right? So that we can equate it to W2 by W1 is equal to I reference, right? So natural tendency is to make W2 equal to 8 times W1. But if you do that, this does not work well in the fabrication process. So let us understand why it does not happen. Why cannot we directly make this W8 8 times of W1? So basically, transistors are defined by masks in the layout process for integrated circuit purposes. So let's say we have this green mask for N plus diffusion, and we have this polysilicon mask for the gate terminal. Now we know that whenever a polysilicon line will cross this N plus diffusion line, a transistor will be formed. So let's say we have a drain terminal over here, source terminal over here. This is my channel length vertically, and horizontally is my W, right? Channel width. So this is the ideal mask which we consider, right? But an actual mask in reality after the fabrication process may look like this. So your W which you have defined on paper or on your computers will not be equal to the same value of W. So let's say W is, let's say, a 90 nanometer. It might not be 90 nanometer. It might be something else. It might be 91 or 92. And the channel length, let's say it's around 45 nanometer. It's not 45 nanometer. It will be somewhere close to 45 plus something, right? Because of this, there are no straight lines for mask in real life. So there can be delta L and delta W increase plus or minus. It can be W plus or minus delta W, or it can be L plus or minus delta L, right? So these are the jagged edges due to the process variations. So there is a process called as lithography where we create this mask. So in actually, because of this process variations, your W by L ratio might become W plus or minus delta W divided by L plus or minus delta L. So there is no accurate W by L ratio over here, right? So direct scaling of bit will face difficulties. That's why we cannot make W2 8 times W1. There will be some problems. So as illustrated over here, since the corners of the gate are poorly defined, ragged edges. So if the drawn W is doubled, then the actual width does not actually double. So that's the problem. That's why we thus prefer to employ a unit transistor. It's a new concept. It's a unit cell design and create copies by repeating such a device. Okay. So you create a unit transistor and then you create multiple copies from it. So let us try to understand this further. I hope you have understood the problem of why we cannot directly, scale this W2 as 8 times W1 because of the problems of this ragged edges in your, during your process, lithography process, fabrication processes. Okay. So let's say that we wish to copy a reference current, I reference, and generate 8 times I reference, right? So that means your current scaling by a factor of 8. That means your I out will be 8 times A reference. Now, this is a very, very important concept to understand. And this is basically the most fundamental concept of analog design. Many people make mistake over here. So let's say W1 is 1 micrometer. Your W2, it's 8 micrometer. So let's do this and let's check it out because I out is W2 upon W1. So ideally it should work on paper. right? But it's not a good idea. Why it is not a good idea? Let us check. So let's say because of this process variations, your W changes by delta W and your L changes by delta L. Okay, this should be delta L, not delta W. Let me change this. Okay. Okay, fine. This will be delta L. Yeah. So let me place this delta L over here. Yeah, now it is correct. Absolutely fine. Yeah. So I out, if you scale it directly by times 8, what will happen is I out upon I reference will be 8W plus delta W divided by W plus delta W. Now you see what's the problem over here? We have multiplied this, your width of your transistor 8 times. So that 8 times that plus delta W will also come, right? So that is what conceptually means. We are increasing the width of one of the transistor 8 times the normal size. And this is how the mask length will look like on paper. So instead of doing this, what we do is instead of doing this 8W, we can make 8 transistors of width W, right? Your one transistor will called as a unit cell, and we will make 8 copies of it and connect them in parallel. This is first approach. So for if we do that, what will happen? You will get 8 into, let's say we cannot avoid this, rugged edges, right, in the fabrication processes. So let's just assume that this W will change by delta W and L will change by delta L. But right now, since we are making 8 copies of your transistors with W, now the ratioing will be 8 times W plus delta W divided by L plus delta L. So now I out divided by I reference will be 8 into W divided by delta, W plus delta W divided by W plus delta W. As you can see, now we get a ratio desired very, very accurately. So this is technique number 1. Let's take some example. So let's say that I reference is 10 microamperes and I out is 80 microamperes. So you want to make I out as 8 times I reference. So let's say L is chosen as 0.25 micrometer and W is chosen as 2 micrometer, right? So you take 8 copies of it, right? So what do you do is you have this 2 micrometer divided by 0.25 micrometer, L will remain the same, right? And here we have a unit transistor. You can create 8 copies of it, as you can see. Instead of doing this, making one transistor with a width of 8W, right? Along with it, the process variations also will be huge and you will not get an accurate current mirroring, right? This approach is much better. So you have made multiple copies of unit transistor, right? As you can see, 4 copies over here, 4 copies over here. So this 8 is my multiplier effect, right? The second approach will be in the layout. Right now, you might have not studied layout, but in the layout, there is an option of using a multi-finger transistor, right? If we use a multi-finger transistor, then also this problem will be solved, right? We will discuss it in detail when we'll study analog layout part. For time being, we understand the circuit level, what will be the impact on the circuit level, and possibly how we will reduce this kind of error, fabrication, during the fabrication process, the edges becomes rough. So due to that, your W becomes W plus delta W and your L might become L plus or minus delta W. So let's study this technique. How do we follow it? Yeah. So what are we doing is we are creating I out equal to 8 times I reference. So over here, I reference is 10 micro, I out is 80 micro. So let's just say that you do this approach. W by L is 2 micrometer divided by 0.25 micrometer, right? And this is the sizing for M1 transistor. And let's say you do the sizing for M2 transistor as 16 micrometer divided by 0.25 micrometer. On paper, it may look like it's correct. But this current mirroring, that is multiplying the I reference by 8, it's a wrong approach, right? It's not a good approach. And that's the fundamental of your analog circuits. If you try to understand this correctly from the perspective of layout and the fabrication and the mask perspective, then this is absolutely wrong. What we normally do is we adopt a more accurate current multiplication. So what do we do is we take, we know that I reference is 10 microamperes, right? And we make a 1 unit transistor, right? 1 unit cell we can take. So W by L ratio, let's say of this transistor is 2 micrometer divided by 0.25 micrometer. So this is 1 copy. So we'll make multiple 8 copies of it over here, right? So all the transistors have the same sizing now. 2 micrometer divided by 0.25 micrometer. If you do that, then what you will have is, you will have I out divided by I reference is equal to 8. And that is what is desired. So you connect all these unit transistors in parallel, right? And now each transistor will provide a current of around 10 microamperes. And you know the current in parallel will be added up over here, right? So this current will be added to this. So you will get finally 80 microamperes. So instead of increasing the width of M2 as 8 times, you create multiple copies of your unit design, right? And you connect them in parallel. So this is more accurate current multiplication technique, a very, very important concept. This is a wrong approach to your left-hand side, and this is the correct approach on the right-hand side, which is the more accurate current multiplication or current mirroring. I hope you are following this, right? How can we generate, 80 microamperes from 10 microamperes with the help of this approach, and why this approach? Okay, fine. I'll give you all some, some time to grasp this concept. So you all can pause over here, and yeah, let's wait for the, let's understand this further with a design. Okay, so now let's look at the design. We have to design a current mirror to copy a reference current of 20 microamperes to an output current of 60 microamperes, right? So I out is 60 microamperes and I reference is 20 microamperes. So W by L ratio should be 3, right? So what do we do is, we don't take, W as 3 times, W2 as 3 times of W1. What do we make is, we make unit copies. So let's say I reference is 20 microamperes. So W by L, we take it for the transistor as 5 micrometer divided by 1 micrometer. We'll treat this as a unit transistor, and that we will copy it, right? So your I out number of transistors will be required will be 3. So if you multiply it by, if you make 3 copies of it, you will get the ratio W2 by W1 as 3, right? This is the unit cell approach. So what do? Is we know the basic current mirror up till here, right? So this will produce 20 microamperes of current. So if you want 60 microamperes, you connect 3 transistors in parallel with their gate connected like this. And this is how we follow the unit cell design approach. So this is the circuit of your current mirror to copy reference current of 20 microamperes to the output current of 60 microamperes. You do follow this technique. Fine. So instead of making adding one transistor with a width of let's say 15 micrometer, we create multiple copies of the unit transistor. And what is the unit transistor? Having the W and L 5 micrometer divided by 1 micrometer. So you make multiple copies of it, 3 copies in fact, each transistor giving a current of 20 microamperes, and then added 2 together in parallel to give 60 microamperes of current. Fine with it? I hope you have followed this design of a current mirror using the unit cell approach. Now let's look at the last design. So this is slightly more twisted, that we have to design a current mirror to copy a reference current of 10 microamperes to an output current of 12.5 microamperes. Now here there is a problem. There is no, unit cell design have to be carefully designed, right? So we want to generate 12.5 microamperes from 10 microamperes. So how do we do that? First of all, we'll equate the formula. I out is W2 by W1 into I reference. I out is 12.5 microamperes is equal to W2 by W1 into 10 microamperes. So I reference is 10, I out is 12.5. So what's the common factor relating to 2? So we can take W by L as 2.5 microamperes divided by 1 micrometer. 2.5 micrometer divided by 1 micrometer, right? And we can create multiple copies of this also, right? This is from the reference circuit side. So here what do is, we take 4 copies of this. So we have 2.5 microamperes, 4 units of this transistor, having the unit of 2.5 micrometer divided by 1 micrometer, right? And on the I out side, how much will make this? We will make 5 copies of it. Each transistor will have W by L as 2.5 micrometer divided by 1 micrometer. So this will generate 2.5 microamperes of current into 5. So that will be 12.5 microamperes. And on the I reference side, this will be requiring 4 units of it. So this is what do we call it as a unit cell design. That is what is called as a unit cell design. So now let's look into the implementation. So this is the implementation. On the iReference side, we require 4 units of these transistors. So we require 4 NMOS transistors, that connected transistors on this side, with W by L as 2.5 micrometer divided by 1 micrometer, all of them. And we know why we require 4 of them, because it's in fraction now, the relation between I out and iReference, right? So this is the best way to design, that is a unit cell design, which will take care of the the actual mask errors which we are encountered before, that is W plus delta W, L plus delta L. So all those errors will be minimized and you can accurately mirror the current to any ratio. Fine. So in this case, we will have a 4 units of this unit cell. Over here, this is one cell, one transistor, second, third, and fourth, all having the same W by L. And on this side, we have, we require 10 microamperes current over here. So each transistor will give 2.5 microamperes. So 4 will give 10. And on this side, 5 will give 12.5 microamperes. So every transistor in this configuration will have same W by L. That is 2.5 microamperes. I mean, 2.5 micrometer divided by 1 micrometer. So that is what do we call it as a unit cell design. I repeat again, we wanted to design a current mirror to copy a reference current of 10 micro, to a 12.5 micrometer for a 12.5 microamperes. So what did we do? We have, broken this into 4 parts. That is, we first generate 2.5 microampere with a sizing of 2.5 micrometer divided by 1 micrometer. And then later on, we made 4 units of it. On the output side, we made 2.5 micrometer. We kept the design same, but we multiplied by 5 times. I mean, we make 5 units of it. Okay, so we'll have 4 unit cells over here and 5 unit cells over here. So we'll have 4 transistors, each transistor giving a current of 2.5 microamperes. And here we have 5 transistors giving individually giving a current of 2.5 microamperes. So hence we can design a current mirror which can give output current of 12.5 microamperes from a 10 microamperes current source. So I think that will be all for today's session. I hope that you have learned this unit cell design. It's a very important concept and you can expect numericals from it in your exams. Okay, so that is all for today's session. Have a good day and thank you.